Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back. It is the 52nd time we have done this, meaning it is the year episode.
Hard to believe.
We've made it.
Yeah.
And if you've made it this far, you know I am Chris Zane.
And I am Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, he is. Yeah, man, episode 52, man. We
made it.
We've made it a whole year, and hopefully many more to come.
When I was talking to Adam when we were at the Chiefs game, Adam Scheinman, who is our correspondent for golf and the Jets, he was bringing up just talking about the podcast, and he was asking, like how long we've been doing and everything. And I said, we're coming upon a year. And he let me know that like the average podcast lasts, like when people start them up, like 20 some episodes. Like people give up.
We're too dumb to quit, people.
That's right. we're, what this reminds me of was like Captain America, where we're just like, we can do this all day. We're just going to keep fucking going, man.
I like the Marvel throwback there. But yeah. It has been a year.
It's been a year, man. Crazy year.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year, definitely. It's wild if you look at all the upgrades. If you go back and look at, just listen to the first episode and then listen to episode at 14. I think we started recording video.
Yeah.
And then even just look in the corresponding weeks after we started recording video, the upgrades and where we're at now.
We originally just put my phone down and hit record.
Yeah, it was a phone, and then it was... I think we were using just one mic at one point in between the two of us.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then we got the two mics set up. We got this, and then now it's just been slowly accruing. We got three cameras. You can see me right here. You can see
the lights that you added.
Chad right here, and then you can see both of us right here. So yeah, it's been fun, man. We've been having a good time, and we're just trying to monetize our friendship. Damn it.
That's what I'm saying.
So
man.
you guys
if we're
need to
be
help
friends,
us.
we might as well make money off of it.
I don't want to hang out with you unless I'm getting paid, man.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'll whore myself out.
Unfortunately, though, I could only come up with one person for episode 52, and I think we all know who it is.
Well, I was just going to skip that because I just figured we're going to use the 52 as the year episode.
Okay, you were going to do that?
I wasn't going to do that. Just,
all right.
Ray
That's
Lewis,
fair.
he's cool. He didn't murder a person.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
Really good linebacker.
Yeah, one of the best. So he would, I guess, be the guy, but we're not going to go into it.
We don't need it. Everybody knows more about Ray Lewis.
It is our episode.
Yeah, we're going to put the shine on us, dude.
Yes.
We made it a year, Chris.
Yes.
Over there, dude.
Sorry, my hands are a little clammy.
They always are, man.
I don't know why. But yeah, how was your week, sir?
Dude, it was a crazy
your weekend.
Yes, it was very eventful. We actually went and did stuff this time. Got out of the house. We went to Fort Collins.
Nice.
I've lived here for 13 years, and I've never really went and explored Fort Collins. I like that town.
It's
that
pretty
city,
cool.
Man.
It's a little far north.
Where we live, it was pretty short. It was like just over an hour. It went really fast. But it was nice, too, because it just so happened to be the weekend where everybody was pretty much in Boulder for the game. So it wasn't that busy. I kind of consider this, and you can take it however you want, but it's my own opinion. I like it better than Boulder because it's less busy and it's less dirty.
Well, and it's just less pretentious, too.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah, the homeless haven't traveled too far down there. You'll see them, but it's not like Boulder where it's like encampments
It
and
was
stuff.
fucking funny. So Friday night, I'm just going into it a little bit because it was a good time, and I'm going to tell you about it. Yeah, Friday, we splurged a little bit, went to the Elizabeth Hotel.
Ooh.
That's what I determined that we have to call it every time we brought it up throughout the weekend. It's the Elizabeth by Marriott, and so we were like, oh, well, we're staying at the Elizabeth. You got to say it like that.
Yeah.
Well, then we went to eat at Jay's Bistro, really nice place, and we had some champagne to celebrate before we went, and then we had a couple drinks there, came back to the hotel bar, had a couple drinks, so we were feeling pretty good after Friday night, and when we're walking into the hotel, there's not too much homeless, but there's one sleeping.
There's always the one.
Right out there. And, Hannah's not so much used. She is used to it, but, not like us. Where we're it's whatever. It's like a yard decoration at this
They
point.
always search me out and talk to me, dude. I don't understand why.
They like you, man. They probably think you're one of them.
Yeah, they're like, look at this fucking long hair. If he's not one of us, he will be soon.
Yeah, we're gonna convert you, man. Join us. Well, dude, she was like, a little drunk, and this guy's sleeping, and she's like, "Is he okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he's fine."
She's like, sir.
Leave him alone. And like, this is how I knew she was really feeling herself, because she's like, "Let me go check on him." I was like, "No, don't
wake
do
him.
that. You're gonna get stabbed or
Don't
something."
poke the proverbial
Yeah,
bear, the
that's-
sleeping bear.
That's like the number one rule of homeless or any kind of, what am I trying? Just
Interaction.
vagrant. That's
Yeah.
a good word for it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Street folk.
just leave him alone.
Yeah.
Just leave him alone. She walks up to the dude and is like, "Hey, are you okay? Are you okay?"
He's like, what, bitch, I'm sleeping.
Doesn't even respond like a dead person. So I'm just like, he's fine. See, he's okay.
Now she's
Let's
even more
fucking go.
worried. She's
Yeah.
like, no, he's not. He's
Pretty
something's
much.
wrong. You're like, just leave it alone.
Oh my god, man, it was nuts. But yeah, so that was crazy. And then the next night, I went up to Sound Tribe up in Mishawaka. Got to show her that outdoor venue. If nobody's ever been, the Mishawaka, right outside of Fort Collins.
Amphitheater?
It's a really small amphitheater. I mean, there's probably like less than 400 people there, if that. Really great time. Got to visit with the tribe and see some people. I got to see a friend of mine, Georgia. I haven't seen since I worked at Good Chemistry.
Georgia.
Oh yeah,
Georgia.
amazing experience up there, man. Really good weekend. So
Nice.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be going back. I gotta say this too. It was really funny. Whenever obviously doing this and Dave being a big CU fan and the whole hype around it, I've kind of joined in the fandom a little bit.
Yeah, we're
I like
fully
to
in.
see the CU Buffs
Yeah.
do well. Obviously,
Yeah.
I like my Jayhawks, but they're not quite known for football.
No.
The point of it is, we took a bus up there. It's like a shuttle from the tennis courts from CSU. And so when you go up there, like 15 minutes into the mountain, you lose service. And on the way back down, everybody gets service at the same time. And we realized
They're freaking out. Yeah,
that they
they're
went
winning.
into overtime.
Oh, they
went into overtime.
Yeah.
And all these and it had to, it's up there in Fort Collins, so I bet a lot of these tribe fans were CSU students.
Probably.
And so they're all like, "Oh yeah, they're going into overtime." So I'm like the only one on the bus, like quietly cheering that, like when
It happens. Everybody's like, oh, you're like, yay!
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking get thrown off this bus, man.
Yeah.
It was
Get
a
beat up
nerve
by
wracking.
some college kids.
And then we get into the Uber to head back to the hotel, and it's this old white grumpy guy that is a CSU alum, and he is pissed.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, the refs ruined this game, and they called all this bullshit, man." I was just
They
like,
did. They didn't call enough penalties, I guess, or prove a point, apparently.
Yeah, that's the problem about watching the radio is he was talking about
Or
that.
listening to the radio?
He was.
No, you said watching the radio.
I'm watching. Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
You can't.
But that's how he was listening to the game, and so that penalty that killed him there in double overtime, he was like, "Yeah, we got robbed." I was like, "Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I was watching it on ESPN, and that was clear blindside blocks." So
Yeah.
Sorry
And not
to-
to mention fucking that one kid tried to kill a guy.
yeah, seriously, it's
We'll
like,
talk about that in a little bit.
yeah,
but-
we'll get to that. But regardless, it was a damn good weekend.
Nice.
Yep. How about you?
Mine was a little less eventful. Still a little unemployed, so I'm kind of just hanging out, laying
Chilling.
low.
Yeah.
I did watch an obscene amount of music documentaries over like 2 days. I watched I think it was called Murder in the Front Row. It's about the San Francisco thrash metal scene, like Metallica and all those guys, and Megadeth and
All right.
Exodus and all this stuff. And then
Sweet.
I don't know if you've ever seen him or heard of him, but there's the shit, god damn it, now I'm not gonna remember what it's called. Fuck.
Is it a band?
No, I mean I did watch a couple other things, but this one there's like two of them, and one was about 80s hair metal, and one is about like the punk scene in the very beginning in like LA.
Yeah.
And I watched that one. The Decline of Western Civilization, Part 1 and Part 2.
Wow, that's a lot.
There's a Part 3 about crust punks. I didn't watch that one. I really wanted to watch Part 2 because it's all about hair metal, and it's just insanity.
Yeah.
Just like they're like just talking to random people on Sunset Strip and they just think everybody's gonna be famous, and like you wonder like what's that guy doing now, because he's definitely not famous.
I've
But
been
he was
working
like,
at the UPS.
I don't know. There's no other option. I'm going to be famous. So
That's
like,
funny,
it's just
dude.
like, dude, nobody even knows who you are. But yeah, I watched a whole
That's
bunch
cool.
of music documentaries. Played a bunch of guitar. We practiced twice. because Andrew was in Germany for a week and a half.
What was he doing in Germany?
Kellen and a couple of her tattoo buddies went out there to. One of them was going out to tattoo and like guest spot at a place, and then Kellen just went to go hang out and go see Germany and stuff. Well, they were already out there. No, Andrew got there first. He was in. God damn it,
Frankfurt.
Not Frankfurt.
Hamburg.
No, Amsterdam.
Oh,
he was
sweet.
in Amsterdam for like 3 days.
Nice.
And then he took like a train or something to go meet them. And God damn it, what's the capital of Germany?
Munich.
No, not Munich.
Frankfurt. Just a guess. There's like 3 cities. Now
you've
I
thrown
know
me
in
off.
Germany. There's
Berlin.
Duh. How did I not think of that one? Idiot.
They all met up in Berlin. So he was gone, and then we got together Thursday night and practice, and then got together Monday night and write new songs. So that's been fun.
Nice. Yeah. Any new dates at it? Oh, you guys are playing a Sunday show coming up, right?
Yeah. So anybody who is, doesn't like going out late or just, has shit going on, although football. So that's a big.
People who don't watch football.
Yeah,
maybe?
people who don't watch football, don't like going out late, may or may not have kids. It's like, I think it's an all ages show. It's at Larimer Lounge on the 1st of October.
Cool.
I think we play at like 6. The music starts at 4. There's 3 bands. So.
Oh yeah.
And then we're playing one of Merrill's Magic Makers markets on, I think it's the 14th
of October.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we're playing another thing in October. We got a really busy October all of a sudden.
That's awesome.
We're playing like a block party for Andrew's neighborhood.
Okay.
And the guy's trying to like close down the street. And
that's rad.
Like out in the street. So
I might have to go to that.
Yeah.
I like block parties.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun.
Yeah,
so.
that'll be cool.
Definitely. Other than that, though, man, I've just been watching a lot of stuff.
That's cool,
Playing
dude.
guitar, you know, waiting to get a job.
Jamming out, man. I dig it.
So hopefully I'll be working soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully by next week. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We're praying.
But, so we're here. If you've made it this far, please make sure whatever you're watching us on or listening to us on to like and subscribe to us and rate us 5 stars. If you're watching on Twitch right now, we appreciate it. Also, if you haven't yet, on all social media, please like, share, subscribe, and follow us at Fringe_Fanatics on pretty much everything. So
please do.
And on that note, there's my favorite saying. To us, Chad.
To us,
1
buddy.
year.
To 1 year.
And to you guys who've made it this far, we appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Good shit. Good shit.
Good
there.
old Bushbills. Goes down smooth.
Oh, that ain't bad. Chris, you want to talk about some sports ball?
Let's do it. Let's talk about sports ball.
Let's do it, man. Let's get into some headlines.
Yes, we have some. We're gonna do bummer news first, unfortunately, in the NFL. Unless you want to hit a headline before we get into injuries.
Talking about no, I just figured we'll get the bummer news out of the way first.
Okay, yeah, and on a good note. As we all know, if you were watching Monday Night Football last night, you probably saw one of the most gruesome knee injuries we've seen in a long time.
That was tough to watch.
Yeah, it was just the picture alone is disturbing. But Nick Chubb's probably done for the year for sure.
I'm surprised we didn't get a actual result from it.
I mean, it's just an explosion inside of the knee. I
Probably
think.
so. Yeah.
But yeah, he's done. Hopefully not for his career. He did. I shared it in the fantasy thread last night that he did also have a almost similar knee injury on his left knee in college at Georgia.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All things pointing to a quick recovery for him. Fingers crossed. But in the meantime, is it Jeremy or Jerome Ford will be taking over for him?
I think it's Jerome Ford.
Yeah. So Jerome Ford will be the number 1 back going forward.
Look for him on your waiver wire.
Haven't yet, add him on that waiver wire. I'm sure that everybody in our league has a waiver wire claim in on him, or
I know I do.
I put one in too. So.
Well, so that was the number 1 from last night.
Yep.
Let's get into the Ravens. OBJ was ruled out in the second half. Not quite sure if he's going to play this next upcoming week. We'll see. Kind of nuts because he hadn't played for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
and probably more. And he's already had 2 ACLs, and I think this was a hamstring.
It wasn't a hamstring. I thought it was a knee, but I can't remember. But it's in the knee area, hamstring knee.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Then the Bills, Micah Hyde, also hamstring or a hamstring injury, did not return in this game against the Raiders. So even though they beat the shit out of the Raiders, that could be a problem going forward.
Yeah, that was definitely a get-right game for them.
Yep.
Bummer news for, well, we'll see. The Giants are hoping that Saquon Barkley will be a quick healer. Brian Dable says he thinks he's possibly going to start.
That's what I was going to tell you.
Which is crazy.
What is happening when he is saying this? Like, are you fucking kidding me, man?
Yeah, why put that pressure on some guy?
It is a 3-week injury, and they have a Thursday night
Did they come out
game.
and say what it is? I thought it was a high ankle sprain.
It's a high ankle sprain, but they're calling it minor. So
I don't know of any high ankle sprain that's minor. Those are the ones that just nag people all year long.
Yeah, unless you're Mahomes, I guess.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep. Well, then Colts, Anthony
Acting.
Richardson.
Sorry.
Huh?
Acting. Sorry.
Every time. But Anthony Richardson hit his head on a touchdown run. And, yeah, he actually took himself out of the game, told him that he has a concussion.
Well, hey, I guess you can't knock him for that. That is something that they've
Yeah.
had a problem with in the past, is these guys not self-reporting things. It is a bummer, though. I mean, he ended up leaving the first game right there at the end. I forget what happened to him. He dove into the end zone or trying to run, and he got injured and ended up coming out in that game.
Yeah.
And then then Trevor Lawrence told him, hey, man, like, you got to fucking not get hit the way you do, because you're not going to last. It's different now up in this league. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if he is going to make it through the whole year, which might throw off my offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Which I think I stated when I said that he's got to stay healthy. So.
Yeah, I think it might be looking like Bijan Robinson if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, that dude's elusive.
Yeah, we're going to get into that later.
Violent.
Yeah. Another one, Jalen Waddle, also a concussion.
Oh, yeah, I did see that one.
Yep.
Did you see C.J. Gardner-Johnson?
Tore his
pec.
I forgot to write that one down. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
so
a big
Lions
deal.
lose.
For the season, I
Yeah,
believe.
their whole, like, the main thing they traded for this offseason was C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and
Yeah.
now he is out for the year, torn pec. So that is a definite bummer. Also, Panthers lose star linebacker Shaq Thompson for the year to repair a broken fibula, which happened when Saints left tackle Trevor Penning was thrown into his left leg
How
by
about
teammate
that shit,
Deshaun
man?
Williams.
Yeah.
So that's
That your teammate breaks your leg.
Yeah.
How fucked up is that?
I mean, think about, who was it? It was Minka Fitzpatrick that hit Chubb, right?
yeah.
So, I mean, I guess he was all tore up about it.
Well, yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick got hurt, I think, on that play as well, and went to the hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I didn't know he went to the hospital.
Yep.
They were practicing last
I
time.
think
They didn't get to watch.
I'm not sure if he went to the hospital to like check on Chubb, but yeah, he felt pretty bad about it. He hit him really low. It was pretty
very low.
shitty place to hit him. But I mean, sometimes like football's fast. You don't really. It's tough, man.
Yeah. Ask Kareem Jackson.
That's what I got written down here as well. Because for the second week in a row, the dirtiest player in the league
Leave him alone.
got ejected after another severe helmet-to-helmet hit on Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas is still in the concussion protocol.
Yeah.
I haven't checked it or not if Denver PD is arresting Kareem Jackson or
For
not.
assault.
But that's what I would be putting out for it. FBI.
This one
look
was
into
worse to me than the first one
Yeah.
because he left his feet. The first one to me was just like, it's a bang-bang play, and it sucked. But this one is just like, what are you doing,
Yeah.
dude?
He's just-
He does like to come in like a missile out of nowhere, though.
Yeah, he just doesn't really seem to take any account for these rules or anything like that. If he
Yeah.
gets ejected or whatever, and I bet that's why he got ejected is because last week it happened, and so they're like, all right, this is a reoccurring issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll have to pay attention to that. See if Kareem Jackson keeps it up throughout the year. He might turn into who was the. I know Rodney Harrison was really bad about it back in the day. John Lynch had a bunch of bad ones.
Wasn't Perfect also like one of the
No,
biggest
he was,
headhunters?
horrible at it, man. Basically ruined AB's life. Antonio Brown, excuse me.
Yeah.
For those out there that don't know.
That's why Antonio Brown is the way he is.
Yeah,
today.
but that's what I even put in parentheses. It's like Kareem Jackson didn't have an injury, but he's causing injuries.
Yeah.
But
it was a bummer.
The note of injuries, an article came out that I thought was really interesting. A grievance was filed by the NFL where they're saying that the players' union told running backs to fake or exaggerate injuries. This is a pretty big deal because I'm sure the NFL is going to be looking into this.
Was this in light of the response to them not getting paid? Is that what this is about?
This is in response to the Zoom interview. It's not really in response to any of the injuries that have happened. It's more so.
I just meant, was this like the NFLPA telling them, like, hey, since we're not getting
yes.
paid.
Oh, the NFLPA. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? I can't remember the guy's name.
This is like our fucking picket line.
He's saying that in order to have leverage, this is if you sit out a game and try to hold out, you're not going to get paid. But this is a way to have leverage, and so I'm sure people might lose their jobs because if people don't know, if a player fakes an injury or basically exaggerates an injury in any type of way, it does violate the CBA. And they could face fines or suspensions. So this is a kind of a hot topic that we'll be following.
A little bit of a developing story there. We'll have to
yeah.
Oh, you know what we forgot to do? The headline thing. The headline bumper, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I don't think you did the NFL one either. Hit the NFL.
Oh, we didn't do anything for the headlines. We just went into it. Holy shit.
And we got antsy.
Oh, man. Well...
That is pretty much everything for the NFL news. So hit the headlines button, and then we'll get into...
Oh, you want me to hit it? Okay, we'll do it.
Go ahead.
Here we go.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
All right, that's right. We've been doing headlines for like the last 10 minutes. So if you weren't paying attention, now you know.
Now you know. That's right. Well, you had something for the NBA, right?
We do. We got a little something for the NBA coming at you right now. And I just heard this on 104.3 The Fan.
Oh, I wanted to talk to you about this. I'm glad you brought this up.
We'll get into that. Yeah. But I heard this on one of their bumpers today.
Are you fucking serious?
I think they stole it from us, dude.
That's fucking crazy. What?
Yeah. I heard it, and I was like, was that the timeout? I'm burning? And it was. It's on one of their bumpers for one of the new shows.
No way.
I think they're listening, dude.
They've got to be, man. We
know
reached
you're
out
listening.
to Zach Bye. Hey, copyright infringement. At least
I don't
pay
know
us
if
some
they
money
can,
or something.
They probably get more rights to use it than we do.
I guarantee you they do. But that's some fucking bullshit. That tells you why the Fan just fired a bunch of people.
Yeah, so...
Why don't we just get into it now, man? I want to find out before we get into this NBA news. I know you listen to the Fan more so than I think anybody I know. How do you feel about some of the core members of that radio station getting fired?
D-Mac's the most surprising one because he's been there the longest. For as long as I've been back listening to the Fan, he's been on the drive. It was with Al Williams in the beginning, and then or Alfred Williams, and then now and they just it was like Monday they told him.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, I didn't know.
And that's the second time they've done that, where it's just like, yep, you don't have a job anymore. Like,
well,
oh, guess what? You know, your show you're supposed to do at 3? Nah.
Yeah. From what I heard, so at work, Dan is friends with like Cecil Lammy because of like a connection through his comic book store that he goes to or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So he like texted him and asked like, what happened here? And I guess he told him that like in the meeting, some meeting last week or something like that, there was just a big disagreement. And after that, they just get the axe.
Oh, really?
So that's what I've heard.
Well, I mean, it sounded like there was 3 there because they had the Players Club, which was Nate Jackson, Chad Brown, and then Orlando Franklin, all former players.
Yeah.
And Orlando Franklin was like, they just told me just now that I guess my services are no longer needed. And it's just like, damn, dude, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty wild, man. Because, I mean, there's people like you that listen to the Fan every single day.
Yeah, and D-Mac was one of my favorite guys. Just because he wasn't a football, he's like one of us, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, he played sports growing up and not obviously a professional sports player.
Yeah.
He's just a journalist, which I'm not saying we're journalists, but he talked about sports and he wasn't an athlete.
Okay.
But that was kind of a bummer. The new shows, I don't know how I feel about it. They've split up one of the best shows in the afternoon, Stokely and Zach, which is Zach Bye and Brandon Stokely. Don't know why they did that. One of the best shows. And then they put Zach now with Philip Lindsay in the afternoon.
How crazy is that? Philip Lindsay's on the radio now.
Yeah, so so much for him being a guest on our podcast now. God damn it.
It's never too late, Philip.
But yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a bummer, but I guess this shit happens. But we'll see. I reached out to DMAC on our Twitter from our account and was like, you should get into podcasting, dude. Fuck the middleman.
Yeah, seriously, dude.
Why work for somebody else?
Exactly. I mean, that's one reason it's hard for me to listen to the radio is because they can't say fuck or what the hell is the deal with this team. You know, they can't say
things to get themselves canceled.
I mean, look,
as
Derek Wolf left, right?
Yeah, and everybody was saying that was because of his right wing views, but I guess he just had too much shit going on because he's got like that hunting YouTube channel and shit. So yeah. But yeah, shake up at the fan, man.
Crazy.
Let's get back into the NBA. I really only have one thing for the NBA, and it's the Lakers agreed to a 4-year, $48 million extension with Jared Vanderbilt, their defensive-minded forward, on Monday. So this has to be about all the Lakers can do at this point because, I mean, they made a whole bunch of trades, and they've signed a whole bunch of people in free agency.
I don't think they can do a whole lot more.
I don't know what else they can do.
Yep.
But
probably won't matter. They start off the season against the Nuggets.
Yep. Right. Game 1.
Yep.
It's happening. The Nuggets are somewhat prime time, even though the majority of everybody that game will be talking about the Lakers. So
yeah, seriously. Even though we were the champions.
We are the champions. Woo. That's all I had for the NBA. I mean,
let's go to college football.
You want to go to college football right now?
Yep.
All right, hold on one second.
390. Check. Red 18. Red 18. Needle dick.
Oh my God, it's such a violent hit.
So violent. That was the Water Boy. And if anybody didn't see the story that I shared to the French Fanatics page today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious because I didn't realize Shador pulled out a Rio Captain Insano.
He did.
Yeah.
That game got crazy, man.
It did.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
We are.
So yeah, Chad kind of led into it. Was a heated battle on the field on Saturday night in Folsom.
The rivalry was heating up.
Yeah, CU obviously edged out CSU in the double overtime victory, 43-35. But it also was the most watched late night college football game in ESPN history with 9.3 average users, 9.3 million average people watching it. So
that's got to top like a lot of NBA playoff games, dude.
I think it's probably right around there. Maybe I don't know. Well, I think the Nuggets they were in like the 12s. I think.
Really?
But still, I mean that's crazy.
That's
CU, CSU, and we're talking about a 1-win team last year, who now has surpassed what most people said they were going to do. A lot of people are saying they were like 2.5.
Well, Vegas had them at 3.5.
Oh, was it 3.5?
Yeah,
okay.
3.5.
So yeah, they've got one more win, and they've pretty much already surpassed what everybody thought they were going to do. I don't know what's going to happen on Saturday, but this game, we got to talk about it. The hit heard around the world.
Dirty hit.
Henry Blackburn. If I've ever seen targeting on a guy just watching a dude running and not caring anything about the ball and just beelining right for him.
Hit him as hard as he could.
Just stopped him dead in his tracks at a full run, lacerates his liver. Travis Hunter didn't know that at the time. He did return to the game and played a few more plays before coming out and going to the hospital, where we now find out he is out for 3 weeks. Basically ruins his chances of getting the Heisman now, which is a huge bummer. He was definitely going to – I don't think he was going to win it because the Heisman's – it's just – you take so much, just like in the NFL. It's a quarterback basic – it's basically quarterbacks.
Yep.
But he would have been up there, and it would just been another good thing for CU. But the backlash that came from just crazy fans against Henry Blackburn. His mother's address was doxed and posted on the internet. His address on campus was doxed and posted on the internet.
Jeez.
Death threats were sent to his family, to him, to everybody. So Dion
had a really good response to that today.
Yeah, I didn't see what he said. I did see he had a response.
But I don't remember verbatim, but just basically that
he's
he doesn't
a good
deserve
kid.
this. Yeah, he really, didn't. He said he forgive the kid. He was in the heat of the moment. Basically, it was a really good, noble response. nuts.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there was somebody saying, though, before the game that he made mention to somebody that he was going to basically get a crazy hit or, like, you know,
Try to
get
take
a
somebody
flag.
out.
Yeah. Alluding to that. So,
Well, that's fucked up then. Well, I do think the CSU is suspending the kid, right? At least a game.
I didn't hear that.
See, that's what I had heard. But I think he does deserve that. I mean, like, there's just no place in football for shit like that. I mean, with these guys flying around as fast as they are, the game in itself is dangerous enough. Not like when you're targeting like that. That just makes it deadly almost.
Yeah, and then that wasn't the only one. Like you said, I mean, like you said when we got into this, Shador Sanders did try to pull the Captain Insano and poke the I forget what his name is, Kamara.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't remember his first name, but he was dominating, dude.
Yeah, he was.
He was just destroying that offensive line for 4 quarters. But then he had the terrible penalty where he just fucking blew up Shador, helmet right under the chin strap, and just drove him into the ground.
Yeah,
just
the
all
roughing
of his
the passenger.
Boom.
Isn't that in overtime
passenger
or something,
again.
right? I always say passenger. That's the way it is, man.
I know.
Yeah, roughing the passenger, just like the Deftones song.
Yeah, but yeah, he just fucking hammered him.
Yeah.
And that basically was what, you know, kind of turned the tide. But
Yeah.
you got to give Shador Sanders credit, and I think he does have every right to be in the Heisman conversation. Dude, that 98-yard touchdown drive was just awesome to watch.
Straight Brady mode.
Yeah,
That's
I
what he
watched
said,
the
man.
whole game. The overtimes were crazy. It was a really good game. Obviously, we kind of talked about before we got going. I think CU started to smell themselves a little bit too much. I mean, when you come out to fucking Lil Wayne onto the field, and like anybody and their brother who was famous is there,
The Rock, Master P. Dude, when we just said it before we started, Kawhi Leonard was there, and Kawhi Leonard doesn't even go to his own games.
He can barely play for the team he gets paid by.
But he wanted to go to this one. I mean, First Take, I don't think I've had a more entertaining time watching First Take than I did Friday. And
With Shay Shay?
Shay Shay was there. Stephen A. I mean, they kicked it off like with the mountains in the view in the background. You know, Molly's over there to the side. They got Shannon Sharp there, and Shannon Sharp normally just does Monday and Tuesdays. Pat McAfee was there later. He lit it up, and it was great because Stephen A. kicked it off by being like, "I'm here in Boulder. It's cold, it's cloudy, but we're gonna get things kicked off right." And it's just like, hell yeah, man, it's a fucking Boulder right now, dude. I was pumped, man. It's just like you see all the signs and the backgrounds and shit. Like, I saw, you know, the students they hold up some hilarious and some good signs when First Take goes there in College Game Day. My favorite one was a sign that said, "Fort Collins smells like Greeley," or how it was like CSU students smells like Greeley. If people don't know, Greeley's like a cow town, smells like cow shit.
Yeah, you
everywhere.
can always tell when there's going to be a bad snowstorm when you smell Greeley. It's like, then you know that it's coming from the north and it's going to be a bad one.
That's a good point.
But
yeah, man, one hell of a game. And like, yeah, we got to really mention that 98-yard drive because when like I said, I was coming back from that concert, so I wasn't able to watch until the overtime started. But when I went back through and watched the highlights and I saw that punt land on the 2-yard line, I was like, holy shit, how did they pull this off?
Yeah.
And he just marches down the field, man. This kid has something special in him, man.
he does, because they couldn't do shit all night long.
Yeah.
I mean, it was rough going. It started out really good. I mean, you had the pick 6 by Shiloh.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, this is going to be crazy. Then Travis Hunter fumbles the ball, and you're like, oh, no. And then the CSU scores right away, and the next thing you know, they're up, and you're like, what is happening?
Yep.
Blew my damn parlay.
That sucks. It's rough, man. It's tough, like when that happens because you just don't really expect it. But that's what's fun about college football, man. We'll get into it here in another good upset. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week. CU against Oregon, 10 a.m., right?
10 a.m. CU versus Oregon. This is the first real test.
Yeah.
Last week was not supposed to be a test, and it became one. They overcame, and now we'll see if they can keep that momentum going into this Oregon game, because they're 20.5-point underdogs right now.
And Oregon's ranked number 10, I believe, and then CU fell to 19.
Yeah, they dropped one spot, which I think is fair.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But let's move into a couple other teams. Florida upset Tennessee. Tennessee was ranked number 11, so that's a good SEC upset.
Yeah, Florida definitely surprised them for sure.
definitely.
That one I had wrong as well.
I didn't expect that. These parlays are tough, dude.
That was the same game one that got me on that one.
Oh.
Son of a bitch.
Well, another good one. Missouri is really making a splash here in the SEC. They upset number 15 K-State. Fuck the Wildcats. And they did it by kicking a game-winning field goal at the end, a 61-yarder to win the game. And it happened to be, I think, the second longest field goal in college football history, I think is what they said.
Isn't that kicker weigh like 262 pounds? He's like a big-ass dude.
He's like a Janikowski.
Yeah, he's like huge.
Yeah.
Sebastian Janikowski.
Sebastian Janikowski is huge, like an offensive lineman.
I think like the only kicker drafted in like the first round, I think.
Pretty much, yeah. A real shocker there. A lot of people are starting to pay attention in Missouri after that one.
The big shocker was what happened with Alabama.
That's right,
in
man.
South Florida.
So they beat South Florida 17-3.
Barely.
And, I mean, 14 points, but, I mean, that's a team that they, in the
It was
past,
all in the end.
Yeah.
It was like 6-3 for a good portion of that game.
Yeah, and Saban I really give it to Saban because he had a really good quote after the game. And he was like, once again, I can't remember verbatim, but basically, like, this is good. We welcome adversity. This is what we needed.
That's not what they needed. They've got a quarterback problem, and they don't know who it is.
Yeah,
and
they're
that's
not
the
sure.
biggest problem ever.
They keep going back and forth, So
yeah, I mean, I think they played all three in that game.
I think so. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that one was, I think, that one kicked Vegas in the dick for sure.
That's why it really raises some questions because next week they got a tough task, but they're going to play Ole Miss, and Ole Miss had a really good win. So a lot of people are expecting Ole Miss to beat them.
Speaking of gambling and stuff, did you see where Sean McVay and the Rams kicked that field goal to hit the over?
Yeah.
They hit the spread.
I heard about that. My uncle brought that up to me.
There's like 30 seconds left, and they're kicking a field goal for no reason other than just to get the spread.
Fucking crazy, man. I think that there might be a partnership with Vegas because last night I put $5 on the Saints to cover the spread, which is 4.5. They had it covered. And then in the last little bit of time, they let the Panthers just march down the field, play prevent defense.
Yeah.
When you don't need to. And then the Panthers go and score 8 points, bust the spread up.
They're like, this guy, Chad Martin?
Yeah.
He's got money on the game.
Fuck him over, man.
See that barrel over there? We're going to bend him over it.
Yeah. It's rough, dude.
Oh, man. Yeah, so that's all I've got for college football.
That's all I got, too. Let's move into some F1.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
A little bit of F1. Coming at you fast and furious. Y rápido y furioso.
10-second car.
I live my life 10 seconds at a time. Or I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
That's right.
For those 10 seconds or less, I'm free. Yeah, it's all about family.
Yeah.
It finally happened, Chad.
Verstappen.
Verstappen was verstopped.
Yeah. It's a bad name when he loses.
No, it definitely isn't. A very good one.
Actually, didn't even make the podium. Finished in 5th.
Finished in 5th and had to work very hard to get to 5th. This was the first time they failed to get all the way through qualifying. So if you don't know, in qualifying, there's 3 rounds. And basically you have to stay, it's like a knockout.
Yeah.
All the way down to like the final 10. And so Verstappen didn't even make it, or Sergio Perez didn't even make it out of the second qualifying.
Yeah, I wonder what's up with that. If they had some car issues or something?
I don't know. They said they didn't really change anything, but he was really pissed off during qualifying because he was like sliding everywhere. Like he'd come out of turns and just be like sliding around and shit. And it wasn't right, and it didn't stay right. He did, like you said, finish in 5th, but he had to do everything he could to get there. Carlos Sainz actually is the one who wins for Ferrari, sitting atop the podium. Lando Norris for McLaren finishes in 2nd, and Lewis Hamilton for Mercedes finishes in 3rd. He would not have finished in 3rd, though, if it was not for George Russell crashing in one of the final turns.
I heard about that.
He actually was pretty tore up about it afterwards, felt like he let everybody down, just came in too hot and his tires locked up and he just went straight off into the barricade.
Shit.
Would have finished 3rd, ends up not finishing. Hamilton moves into 3rd, and then Yeah, Verstappen's in 5th.
Yeah,
and
I
then,
think Norris, he finished second. That was his, like, what, third time finishing second the last 6 races?
Yeah, he's doing really good. He's a young driver. He'll probably be on Red Bull soon.
Probably,
That's usually
yeah.
how it goes. They
They'll
just take
steal
all
him.
the good drivers.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, also Ferrari dominated this one. Charles Leclerc finishes in 4th. They were just the better team. Their car was the fastest through qualifying, and they stayed that way all the way through the race. I don't think Sainz ever even lost first place.
Yeah, he
So
had the pole. So.
yeah, and I don't think he ever was passed in the race because as soon as, and that's the thing about those road courses, it's very hard to make up spots because of how tight and twisty it is. There's not a lot of room to just fly around people. So yeah, it happened, man. The perfect season is done, and the win streak ends at 10 for Verstappen.
When's the next race?
The next race, I believe, is next weekend. But let me double check because I don't know for sure.
I know they're coming to Vegas soon, I think, right?
I don't know. See, we were talking about that last week.
Yeah.
And we weren't sure.
Well, I saw that my buddy Drescher is going to be working it as like a VFX or media, like cameraman.
Oh,
So-
yeah. November 17th,
Yeah,
and then it's through the 19th.
Yep.
The next race is the Lenovo Japanese Grand Prix
Oh, yeah, that's
at
right.
the
We talked
Suzuka
about that.
International Racing Course.
That's cool.
And that is this weekend.
I always loved when I played racing games when I went to Japan because like Japan's just so fucking
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Laguna Seca. And I don't remember if that's in
My buddy
Japan, but
Corey's
that's just the
actually
one
there
that
right
always
now.
reminds me of Gran Turismo.
cool. Yeah.
I don't know if you ever played Gran Turismo.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. The movie's out like right now, I think.
That movie looks dumb, but I don't
It
know.
does.
It's based on a true story.
I know.
so-
My buddy watched it and he said it was pretty stupid.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Well, let's do let's go to NHL real quick because I did want to talk about one little thing here. So yeah, NHL, not a lot has happened, but there was one big happening. Mike Babcock resigns as the Blue Jackets head coach before his tenure even begins. Associate coach Pascal Vincent will be taking over for him as the head coach going forward. This all actually stems from a report that was dropped on the Spit and Chicklets podcast, which is a pretty funny hockey podcast. If you ever want to listen to it, it's pretty funny, full of good stuff. Those guys are pretty wild. They do a lot of funny videos of them golfing and getting all hammered.
that's cool.
But they actually came out and said that the coach was asking for the players to give him their phones, and then he was looking through their pictures and then displaying them through AirPlay onto his projector in his office.
Oh wow, that's fucking weird.
I don't know. It's kind of strange because the head coach. This is something apparently that's happened before. So it's not like a new thing, but the way it was described was that the guy was just asking to see pictures of the guy's family. It was the captain of the Blue Jackets, Boone Jenner, and then I guess like he took the phone and was displaying it, but somehow like this got all blown out of proportion, and now he's been forced to resign. So it kind of seems like an
invasion of privacy, maybe.
It is a little bit of an invasion of privacy, but then when you hear it described as to why they were doing it, you're kind of like, oh, well, he's like looking at pictures of their kids and stuff, but then I don't know. It wasn't like,
There's a lot of creeps out there, dude.
It's true. I don't know. You never know these days. But either way, it became too much of a distraction, and he has now resigned and stepped away from the team. So that's all I've got for the NHL.
All right. Well, sayonara.
Whoops. Pushed the wrong button, guys. Sorry.
All right.
We just disappeared for a slight second while you looked at a cut screen for the ELE that's coming later.
All right.
But yes, let's get into the MLB,
Let's do
Chad
it.
Lee. It's time for the
Well, a
MLB.
juvenile
Go back to the
delinquent
old
in
one.
offseason in his
The
major
OG
league debut.
MLB.
Yeah, I like this one. This one's good.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
I'll start this one just because I really only have one thing to talk about, and then Chad Lee is going to do the majority of the talking on the MLB because he's the MLB guy. So,
All right.
the Tampa Bay Rays reach a new deal for a ballpark, tying the team to St. Petersburg as part of a huge $6.5 billion development project with affordable housing, retail, bars, restaurants, and a Black History Museum. The stadium will be on the same land the stadium sits now, so it sounds like they're going to kind of do like what they did with Mile High and like build it next to each other. Plan is to have the old stadium tore down and the new stadium ready to roll by 2028. So
Wow. That's a ways
few years out, but that's a big undertaking to basically build a little city.
Well, not only that, it's like, well, I wonder if it'll be underwater by then. So, we'll see.
That is one thing they got to worry about.
Yeah. It's a long ways out.
Rising tides don't just necessarily raise all ships.
Yeah, good point.
They also raise and get rid of your landmass.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it. The Angels star, who has been sidelined the rest of the year due to injuries, an oblique and UCL injury. The Angels cleaned out his locker. I know you said it might have been Ohtani, but from the news piece I read, it was the Angels, and that's kind of what made it a story rather than like keeping his stuff there or whatever it might be for sentimental reasons. They basically, to me, are saying
he's gone.
We're going to trade this guy away.
Yeah, it was strange, and like they said, like nobody told the reporters or anything. They basically show up to go kind of do like their interviews, and they're like, "Where's all of his shit? It's all gone." So
what guy?
Yeah, what guy? Who?
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see what team Ohtani goes to next year.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be the highest bidder. So, but I mean, he did say he wants to go to a winner, so I think that's Little Man barking.
No, man, just hold on one sec, dude. Just
pause
talk for a little bit.
Pause for a second. We got issues. Little Man has gone off the rails. His mom is out at a work event, and he's got separation anxiety. Unfortunately, we all know what that's like. It's scary to be alone. So sometimes you just gotta, just let people know by yelling into the empty room that you're sitting in. Oh, he's coming in here. We have a visitor. Little Man is here.
I don't know why he's so worked up.
He's
That's
all
crazy.
He's all yelling over there,
He gets pissed at the
just
neighbor
mad.
dogs. Just hold up, buddy.
And then he's gonna be scratching to go.
Yeah, she'll be getting home shortly.
We don't really have too many interruptions from the dogs. I think we've had 2 or 3.
Yeah,
if that. So.
They're good characters in the show.
Yeah.
All right, well, moving on. The Braves they have maybe one of the best lineups in history.
It's looking like it.
Yeah, have 5 players with 30-plus home runs. They have 4 players over 35 home runs, making it the most in history. They're just slugging away, man. Since we last recorded, Olsen's at 52 homers now, and they're looking like dominant team. And like the Wilbon brought up on PTI, it's like they have this amazing team. Now the pressure's on them. They got to make sure they don't fizzle out, just like the Bruins did.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, these teams that are front running and just dominating, you always get that fatigue of doing that. You run into that when you hit the postseason. Is it gonna just kind of flicker out there, fade away because you've just been going so hard for so long?
Well, this regular season would be a total waste if you just go to the postseason and get knocked out in the first round. I mean, they've won 6 straight division titles, but it's like what they brought up on PTI is, when I started following them in the 90s, they won 14 division titles. But 1 World Series out of all of that.
Yeah, that's
not enough.
I was trying to see how many games are left. It's only like
let's see. There's 140.
So 12.
Yeah, 140 plus 10, so 150. Yeah, yep.
Or no, 22.
162 games, right?
Yeah. Math.
No, I mean, the Orioles have played 94. They're 94 and 56. That's 140 plus the 4 and 6. So that is 150. So there should just be 12 games.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're down to the wire, man.
Yep.
So I'm
down to the
still
end.
counting down if the Rockies are going to get to that elusive 100 losses. And it's looking like they are.
Let's see where they are at.
They got to be right there.
94 losses, so they're holding strong.
They're not going to go 500.
But speaking of that division, the Dodgers take the NL West title for the 10th time in 11 years.
Yeah, the Rockies almost got it a few years back. There was that play-in.
Yep.
They didn't get it.
Man, the Dodgers just dominating that division. But they spend more money than nearly everybody, so they better.
The Mets, I think, are the only team that spent more, and they're in shambles. So let's go down the rest of them.
All right, let's get into the standings since we're getting down to the end. Still in first place in the American League East, Orioles. And then first place in the Central, the Twins. The West, now the Astros. They've got a game and a half up on the Rangers, and then a game and a half, and then the Mariners are also tied with the Rangers for a game and a half back. So that's the pennant race. That's what's going to be exciting for the last 12 games is the AL West division.
Nice.
You know, we just talked about the Braves that wrapped up the first place in the East division, and then the Central, the Brewers are 6 games up. They'll take that division. And then, like we just said, the Dodgers have taken the West. So the playoffs are pretty much set.
Cool.
Yep.
We're there.
Yep, we're getting close.
We've made it. And then I'm going to have to start actually paying attention as the teams wind down and there's only the playoffs left.
You're going to have to, sir.
Yep.
All right.
Did you want to mention when's the next UFC?
There is a fight night this weekend. It actually is a decent fight night. It's that guy that Justin Gaethje beat up a while back, Rafael Fiziev.
Fiziev.
Yeah, something like that. He's fighting. I can't remember the dude's name, man. It's like it's something Gamrot. I think that's his name.
Groot.
Yes, the tree. That's who he'll be fighting.
Groot.
Yeah. But yeah, and then there's another fight that's on that same card that's pretty good. I just can't quite remember the names right now. I'm a little too, with football going on. There's a lot
no, it's
going
fine.
on.
I threw that at you.
Yeah,
It was a
no, you're good.
curveball.
Yeah, it's worth watching.
It is. The fight nights are always usually pretty good. I mean, last weekend's kind of was weird with it ending in a draw, but it's very strange.
Yep.
It's always strange when they're like, nobody wins.
I hate that. I was very disappointed. When
I was
saw
wondering how much what the odds were on a draw, though.
Oh, it's got to be drastic.
Yeah. There's somebody who's like took a $5 flyer on that, made a bunch of money.
Did you see the guy that made like $71,000 from a $5 parlay from last night's game?
No.
He put it was a parlay where he did 2 touchdowns for Tony.
Tony Jones
Tony Jones, yeah, the backup for the 3rd string running back for the Saints.
Yeah.
He was on the practice squad, and then also who we just talked about, Jerome Ford, also 2 touchdowns for him.
Yeah.
It was like thousands odds, whatever, and
tens of thousands.
Turned $5 into 70,000.
It had to be an insane odds to get
Fucking
that
ridiculous,
high. Yeah,
man.
that's nuts.
Unbelievable.
Well, we've reached that point where it is the halfway point. If you are watching on Twitch, you are going to hear our theme music and a thing showing you that we will be back. But if you are listening or watching on YouTube after the fact, you will be hearing Nuke Bushner, and the name of this song is Cowskin Creek. And I hope you're ready to go get weird by the creek, Chad.
I am.
Because it's happening.
Let's hear it, cuz.
Let's do it.
It's another Friday night out on these old back roads. We got the coolers packed up tight, and everybody's ready to roll. Roll on down that road. Well, the fellas, they dress down and watch them ladies dance around. Like in the woods on COWSKIN Creek, everybody gets to be someone. There's no need to call, come on, unless you get stuck in the mud. Yeah, we might get loud and make you sing. There's no telling what tonight might bring. So take my hand and come lay with me on the banks of COWSKIN Creek. COWSKIN Creek. It's the finer things in life, like a creekside campfire, or a pretty little country queen sipping on a Bud Light, sure to blow your mind. There's only one way down, I'd love to show you around. Back in the woods on COWSKIN Creek, everybody gets to be someone. unless you get stuck in the mud. Yeah, we might get loud and make you sing. There's no telling what tonight might bring. So take my hand and come lay with me on the banks of Cowskin Creek. Cowskin Creek. Throws right there by the water's edge. I know how it's gonna end. Wearing nothing but a big old smile, everybody's jumping in. Back in the woods on Cowskin Creek, everybody used to be someone. There's no need to call, come on, unless you get stuck in the mud. Yeah, 'cause we get loud, love to sing. There's no
And we are back for
Yes, we are.
the second time of the 1-year anniversary of the Fringe Fanatics Sports Podcast, featuring yours truly. If you were listening or watching after the live stream, you just heard Nuke Bushner. The name of that song is Cowskin Creek. Again, this is Chad's cousin.
Yep.
He was featured on American Idol. Sorry, I said that weird.
Yep.
I said America's Got Talent. American Idol made it pretty far. If you'd like to check him out or go find music, it's streaming on everything that you can stream music on. And if you want to go find merch or find out when he's playing next, you can go to nukebushner.com. That's NUKEBUSHNER.com. And we are at the shot at the turn, Chad.
We are. We always forget it, but we're not.
Yeah, we're not doing it tonight because we've already forgot the headlines.
Can't do that.
Way
We're
to go!
breaking the rules.
The 1-year anniversary, we forgot something.
It's all good.
Well, to 1 year and many more.
That's
and
right.
many
We're
more.
gonna keep on going.
Cheers. You should drink with us so we don't feel like alcoholics.
Yep, please do.
Whew.
Oh, that went down well. That was good.
It did. We got a little something for you.
Yep.
We haven't done it in a while.
We
It's
needed a
time
good topic to do it on.
for the ELE coming at you right now.
Ring up here too. Mine says love. Think about that. Everybody love everybody.
That's right. Everybody love everybody.
Yeah.
But that is not really the purpose of this segment necessarily.
It's basically to moderate how we're going to get, all right?
Yeah,
Because
'cause-
we're going to argue a hot topic in the NFL right now. If anybody wasn't watching last night's Thursday night game, Justin
Or
Jefferson.
last week's Thursday night game.
But not last night's.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you.
Monday night. But
Yeah, Justin Jefferson tried reaching over the goal line, and as he did, the ball leaves his hand and then goes out of bounds in the end zone.
yeah.
Which the rule is it gets handed to the other team.
It's a touchback.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Controversial. A lot of people are not happy about it.
Nope.
And me and Chad actually disagree on something.
we do, finally. And my stance is that it needs to stay the same. I agree with the rule, and I will provide reasons why. Chris believes the rule should be changed. A lot of people think
Yeah.
it's the dumbest rule in the NFL.
It is pretty dumb considering the fact, and this is one of the main points of my argument, anytime an offensive player fumbles the ball out of bounds anywhere else on the field, it is immediately returned back to the offensive team where the ball went out of bounds on the field at.
Okay.
So if it's going to go out of bounds and be returned to the team with no control, why, on an extremely important play, when more often than not guys are reaching, diving, flying into the end zone, would you then basically, punish a guy for trying to make a play and give the ball back to the defense when, granted, it was, the guy did make a good play, but most of it was from him reaching.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't a caused fumble. It was a reach. And we've seen this many times in the past. I was trying to remember. I couldn't think of it, but I thought there was a playoff game where this happened, and there was a quarterback that tried reaching over the goal line to score. And as he reaches, the ball comes out, goes past the end zone. Because, okay, so for those out there listening that might be casual football fans or whatever that don't know, if the ball is reached over the goal line and loses control and is fumbled either into the side out of bounds of the end zone or into the back of the end zone, it is returned to the defense, not the offense. And you ask, okay, if it's done like that in the field of play, why is it different for the end zone? My answer to that is it's because it's the end zone. That is the most coveted part of the field. That is where you should protect the ball more. That makes the challenge of the end zone that much more important, okay? So the end zone is different than the field of play. That's where you should take care of the ball. It forces the offense to take extra care of the ball because – yeah, if you're running on the 40-yard line and you fumble the ball and it goes out of bounds, I agree. That rule should still remain the same. But if you're within the 5 and you just reach over and the ball just goes out of bounds, that's going to make touchdowns so sketchy in a gray area to where almost every play is going to get reviewed because it's almost going to look like they're tossing the ball. Yeah. You're going to be like, well, were they?
Well, I mean, thankfully they already review every scoring play, but and turnovers now for the most part. But
then you're going to have so much more stoppages throughout the game. I mean, to me, a great example is you look at what Tom Brady used to do. He would just, in like a QB sneak, reach the ball over and then pull it right back because that's all you have to do is break the plane. Yeah. But, I mean, that's where I think it just makes the ball carrier take care of the ball. I mean, that's the whole idea is – the definition of a touchdown is you have to break the plane. Well, in order to do that, you got to secure the ball. You can't just reach it over. And that's why I feel like it should be ruled the other team because...
I mean, all you have to do is touch the ball to the line, and it's a touchdown.
It is.
Which, if that's the case, if you just barely got to touch the line, like, I guess it just makes it kind of seem pointless that you're trying to reach for it to touch that line by how the rules are set up, and then you lose control of it through no fault of your own, just gravity or whatever case, and then now you're punished for it. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I think you should be punished for it.
I think the punishment should be the ball stays with you because the defense didn't do anything to get the ball back.
But that's the same way, okay, if you're running with the ball and then you fumble it, it's not like the defense caused it to be fumbled. The offense made a mistake, and that's why is they made a mistake by not securing the ball. Because if by the logic that you're presenting, what's going to start happening is if a player is close, they're almost just going to, like, here's the line of scrimmage right there, the remote, right? They're just going to almost throw the ball over. And you're going to have so much gray area, and that ball is going to go through the end zone because of the momentum. And then it's just ruled, okay, well, 1 yard line. Well, then you just punch it in. That's what's so important about the end zone is it makes you have to take care of the ball. Yeah. We are streaming live on Twitch. This is the first time we've done the LE while we've been streaming live. Please give us your feedback. Tell us what you think. Give us your opinion.
When I was bringing this, people watching right now. So.
When I was bringing this up to my uncle, he was in my favor. I would like to maybe someone's in your favor. I know there's a lot of fans out there that believe the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just almost like it does seem like any play in the end zone, regardless of how it turns out, does need to be reviewed. I mean, you look at what happened in the Broncos game. The game ends on a non-call, which was pretty egregious just to watching it. Yeah, watching it live, not even seeing the replay. But I mean, I don't know. You are right though. You would probably, and I did not think about that, so we might actually end up agreeing on this. But you would have guys just launching the ball.
So are you saying that I won this argument?
I might have to.
You might have to concede.
All
right. Well, I have like 3 other points I didn't even hit here, man.
Well, let's hear them. Let's go through them.
Well, in basketball, if the ball goes out of bounds, what happens? It's the other team's ball.
But that's the thing, though, because you've already got the sidelines.
That's what I'm talking about. It's the field of play. But that's where it's different in football. If it's the end, not the sides of the field of play. If it's the end, that's where it's like you got to protect it. Perfect example. The Jaguars might have scored 3 touchdowns in the game against the Chiefs had they just, if the end zone was maybe 3 inches wider, because they came so close to getting both feet in, but they were just had like an inch of their foot on the end zone. That's where it creates this space. That's what's fun about football is it's like different than any other type of like game where you have to work in this confined space. You have to keep it's almost like a 3D type of space that you have to work in, where like football, or not football, but baseball. You hit the home run, it's fucking out. You could hit it 450 feet. That's a score. rather than, you can't run out of bounds. And that's one thing that a lot of the commentators gave credit to the Chiefs for, was pushing these defenders to have to get to the edge of it. And then even when they do catch the ball, they're still out of bounds. And that's where it's all at. The other one I have is basically a solution, but give me another one of your arguments of why.
Oh, my solution for it would be, given the fact that the NFL is completely offensive driven, the only thing we care about is scoring in fantasy football. You shouldn't take the points away from the team that is driving. If in any case the ball goes out of the back when an offensive player possesses it, it's one thing on a kickoff when it's kicked out of the end zone to call it a touchback. But I think when the offensive player has it, it should just be returned to the team on the 5.
I get that. Yeah.
So
you're
not right on the line. You have to, obviously, it's not just you can't do the tush push, the Philly tush push. You're going to have to actually run some plays to get there. I just think it's I don't know.
What about you remember playing 21 when you were and playing basketball and stuff? What if it was kind of such a punishment? I could almost concede on this, to where it's a touchback, the offense keeps it, and they have to
go
get
to
back
25.
to 25. Yeah,
that would be fair too.
Yeah, so maybe you're at the 5, and then you reach across.
I just
and then it
think
goes out.
losing the entire possession of the ball is a stupid rule.
Well, yeah.
But I think that would be a legitimate. Okay, I wouldn't even say the 5. I think the 25 might be better. Just you get it like where you would get it if you fair caught the ball, except on the other side of the field.
I hear where you're coming from, and I think that could be good. This is a crazy solution that I know is.
If it's coming from you, it's got to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy.
It's outlandish.
Fucking Mark Sessler over here. This is a possible solution that's almost like, when you have in basketball, and I always go back to basketball.
You have to Rochambeau for it.
That is dumb. No.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Fight to the death. It's almost like a fight to the death. Well, in basketball, when the ball gets...
fight.
Chris, shut up. When it's a basketball jump. Let me finish, dude. When the ball gets tied up, and it's like, both players have their hands
jump
on
ball.
it. Jump ball, right? Well, let's do the same thing in
Oklahoma
football.
drill.
Exactly, dude. So here's my proposition. Place the ball at the 50. Each team sends out one player that they put on the 40-yard line. When the whistle blows, they run for the ball. Whoever ends up with the ball, that's who gets possession, and then you get the possession at the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
And then just,
I think the NFLPA will go for it.
And it'll be sponsored by CTE.
Yeah, CTE. Paid for by the doctors that'll be helping, because these two guys diving for the ball.
Yeah.
You're gonna see spine injuries.
Well, at
all the
least,
time.
if anything, we might not agree, but we did come up with some pretty good compromises.
I think that's what we did, man. We negotiated, I think, either at the 25 or a complete barbarian free-for-all.
Yeah,
that won't really happen, but I'm glad you can
Or just
see...
send the guys out with, fucking swords.
That's what I'm saying.
And then have a tiger.
With lions or something. Straight gladiators, man. But I'm glad you see where I'm coming from, where it's like, if they do just rule that out, you're going to get wide receivers that, let's
They're
say,
just
how many times they catch the ball at the 1, and, they...
But you're not going to want to do that if you had to start on the 25.
Exactly. Yeah.
But there's not a rule for that right now.
There's not a rule for that.
So,
but...
we must agree to disagree, but I will say I did not think about them throwing the ball. So
yeah,
you technically win this
I
one.
swayed you on that one. Well, there we go. Everybody love everybody.
Everybody love everybody.
I got a ring.
That's right. Well, it's time for us to do our breakdowns of 2 games from the week, and then we're going to each deep dive a game ourselves. Let's start with the...
Let's start with the soundbite, since we missed the NFL one earlier.
You're right.
Chris. I need to hear it.
Let's do it. Here it comes. We're talking about NFL.
It's not official unless I hear it.
69 offense. He was giving them the business.
Giving him the business.
Yeah, and we're going to give you the business of breakdowns of the NFL. The Ravens versus the now aforementioned Bengals.
Bungling that still.
Yes, Lamar and the Ravens hold on to beat the Bengals 27-24, sending them to 0-2 for the 2nd straight season, which I completely forgot last season that they started out the same way.
Well, that's because Burrow had that appendectomy.
Oh, yeah.
However you say that word.
Yeah, the
appendectomy.
now you've got me all fucked up. Appendectomy. Yeah, it's whatever. That's what we're going to call it.
Yep.
Lamar did have a pretty good game. 24 for 33, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, 12 carries for 54 yards.
Yep.
And on that first drive, dude, I mean, Baltimore pretty much seemed to be kind of just once they got going, it was the Bengals playing catch up the whole game.
It was an 8-minute drive, first drive.
8-minute, 5 for 5 Jackson went on his passes, 70 yards, and then it ended up with a 1-yard Gus Edwards touchdown run.
Yep.
The Baltimore, they didn't look good last week. They do look a lot better this week. Joe Burrow did not do that well this week, unfortunately.
No, he didn't. He did hit T. Higgins for a 4-yard touchdown to cut the deficit to 3 with 3:28 left in the game. And after that, he limped off the field, re-aggravating that calf that he hurt in preseason or training camp, excuse me. But the Bengals couldn't get the ball back. They had 3:28 left on the clock, but Lamar and the Ravens just kept marching down, and it came down to like a 3rd and 4, I believe it was, something like that. And I think there was just like maybe a little over a minute left, and Lamar Jackson ran it for the first down, and then game over.
Yeah, and before that, they pushed the lead back to 10 when Jackson connected with Aguilar from 17 yards out. The question is Burrow going to be ready? He says he'll know in a couple days whether or not he'll be able to play this week. I think he will, but yeah, he did have an interception in this game that did kill the one drive they had. It was picked off at the goal line. This was after the offense had been struggling. They didn't get their first down until 10 minutes into the second quarter, and that was when Burrow's interception killed that drive when it was picked off at the goal line.
Yep.
Ravens just looked like a better team for most of the game, and that's probably going to we'll see. I think the Bengals are going to, turn things around, but
yeah, they play the Rams next Monday night. Another doubleheader next Monday night.
So is it really another?
Yeah, I can't remember who's the first game, but I know
I thought the first week was always a doubleheader.
That's the way they did it. Yeah, I actually didn't like it.
I don't
but
either.
Because last night, whenever I was out there barbecuing, and when one was on commercial, I just flipped to the other one, and I didn't really mind it too much. It was kind of all right, but I still
it does kind of suck that they're both on at the same time.
Yeah, I still missed some football.
Yeah,
so that was kind of a bummer.
Well, you got a back-to-backer again.
Yep.
Let's move on to the BUCS versus the Bears.
All right, I'll take this one. The Bears and Justin Fields have not improved.
No.
I saw this stat, which blew me away. This is kind of a total from his career. I think he's been starting in the league for, 2 years now? This is his start of a third year. This is the start of his second year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because he started as a rookie.
Yes.
He has been sacked now 101 times.
Yeah.
That does not seem real.
It does when you just run around the pocket all crazy.
And hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
Well, he was sacked 6 times in this game. Yeah, Baker and Tampa Bay, they might be for real. Maybe not like a Super Bowl contender or a playoff contender by any means, but they're way better than what people thought, and they still have plenty of guys from that Super Bowl team.
Yeah,
Mike Evans in this game had 6 for 171 yards and 1 TD.
He had a 70-yard long catch, and he also had a 32-yard touchdown catch, which capped off an 89-yard drive, putting them up 20-10 in the second.
Yeah,
but Baker looks like the resurgence may be real.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I just was watching it through Red Zone, and he looks pretty good. And when I heard analysts talking about it, they can really tell that he's going through his reads. And from what his coaches and Todd Bowles saying is that the game's coming easier to him. He's not just like staring down receivers, and the grit that this dude has, man.
Yeah, he always is talking shit to people. I'll give him credit for that.
And breaking tackles whenever he does
stiff
run,
arming people,
he's not afraid
shit.
to get hit. Gotta hand it to the guy. He wakes up feeling dangerous sometimes.
Yeah, there was something that came out of last week, and I think it was one of their defenders or somebody was talking about how Baker came out and was saying he knows what they're checking into on the defense whenever they're putting in signals.
I saw that, yeah.
So, I
he was seeing the hand signals.
Yeah, he knew. He's like, they're going into cover 2 or, they're going to single high, whatever. Yeah. So he's obviously, progressed as a quarterback, and I did see something today where he's statistically better than Deshaun Watson in every passing category.
I did see that.
Year.
Yeah, I almost shared that.
But
that
he
was
goes 26 for 34, 317 yards, 1 touchdown, and also has 6 carries for 17 yards. He also recovered a huge fumble that tight end David Wells fumbled back like 11 yards.
Yep, and he jumped on it.
Yep, and then that was actually the next play was that 70-yard touchdown to Mike Evans. So, I'm interested to see how it plays out because they're basically playing with house money. They don't really. It's almost like Baker's just a Band-Aid, and if he does great, but they're waiting for the next big thing. So they're probably almost hoping he doesn't do good. But
Yeah, you would think.
it wouldn't be surprising if they're sniffing the playoffs at the end of the year.
Because you in that division, I mean, it's kind of surprising. You got the Falcons, and then
And the Falcons look tough, dude.
the Falcons. I told you last week, they're
Smash
aside from the
mouth
Chiefs,
football, dude.
they're the team of the Fringe Fanatics right now. Man.
Yeah.
I'm following them, and I'm going to talk about them here in a second. But man, I am really fascinated by that team. But then also the Saints, because the Saints got a good defense, but they also have Derek Carr, who throws interceptions every week. But
yeah.
I wanted to mention this because I thought it was really cool. Shaq Barrett. So it was the Bears did go up, put a touchdown on the board to make it 2017 late in the game, and then Shaq Barrett intercepted Justin Fields for Justin Fields' second interception of the day. And Shaq Barrett, it was like near his own end zone that he threw this interception.
Yeah.
So it was just like a 4-yard interception, a pick six. But what's cool is after the game, he dedicated that pick six to his late daughter, who we mentioned in the offseason.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, bummer.
Pretty unfortunate.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
That's nice that he was able to do that.
But next week, I just want to mention who, if I can get some looking service, there we go, who the BUCS are playing, and it will be the Eagles. That's the other Monday night game. That's the early Monday night game. Because that's what I was trying to remember that because I knew they finally got a good test. Because the first week was the Bears, or the second week was the Bears, easy money, and then last week it was the Vikings, which the Vikings have a horrible defense. So now they have their real test with the Eagles.
And just to go back to it, Baltimore is playing Indianapolis Sunday, and the Bengals are playing
the Rams Monday night.
Monday night. Yep, that's it. It's because I got to go all the way over here to Monday.
Yep. All right.
I think you already said that, but let's reiterate it.
Yep. Well,
I'll let you take the deep dive first.
I will. Here it is. This is, like I said, the team that I'm most fascinated by this year. Dude, and it's crazy too. When I used to play Madden in high school, the Falcons were always one of my favorite teams.
Michael Vick.
Well, their jerseys are cool, dude. They're red and black.
Yeah,
I
they
just
are
like
cool.
you
That's
know,
one of the reasons why I like CU so much now too. I was like the black and gold.
dude. The
That's
black
just fucking
so
sick.
mean, man. It looks. It's like
unless you're at Oregon where you get like 40 uniform variations.
yeah, and their uniforms look stupid sometimes. But like the Colorados, like you remember like let's take for example like Mighty Ducks or something. The villain of a lot of those movies when you're a kid was always
silver.
like black and something, dude. So it
that's
just looks
Raiders,
mean.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but they suck, so it's whatever. They really sucked it up this last week.
They beat us though. God damn it.
Yeah.
They'll get you guys too.
No, I doubt it. Well,
but anyways, get into it.
my Falcons, let's get into it. They take on Green Bay in Atlanta, and you got to take into account here, Green Bay was without a lot of their stars, Christian Watson, David Bakhtiari, who won't play on turf, Aaron Jones, and then also Elton Jenkins left during the game. So some of their best players wasn't in this game, but Atlanta still handled it like they needed to. Bijan Robinson, man, holy shit, this dude is for real. This is why people want to draft him in the first round. That's why he was drafted in the first round. I think at the 10th pick or something. Maybe it was something around that. No, I think it
was the 12th, I think, but I can't remember. For
okay,
sure.
maybe
right around there. Though.
Yeah, but either way, man, he's proven totally worth that. It was a 4th and 1. Arthur Smith called a really gutsy call, and it's picked up way more than just one. He got 7 yards on a gutsy call, and man, he is just kind of like shifty and juking these guys out to get the yards that he needed. It ended up being a close game in Atlanta, because the Packers, Jordan Love played good. He threw 3 TDs in this game.
That's 6 on the year, I think. He had 3 last week. So
and he had a passer rating of 115.
They might be
I think.
okay.
Yeah. Threw 2 to Jaden Reed and then 1 to Wicks. Something Wicks. I can't remember the dude's first name, but who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
Doesn't have Christian Watson. Doesn't have Devontae Adams.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. He's still throwing TDs, and his scrambling ability, got to really hand it to him. When I watch these highlights, he's, not like Aaron Rodgers where, he's able to scramble around and get out of the pocket and pick up first downs. And so Green Bay jumped on top, and it was 24-19 a lot of the time. A lot of weird scores throughout this week. Have you seen this man score? Scorigami's all over the place.
Yeah.
But, so then Atlanta drives down, converts on a 4th and inches, And then Young Wei Koo. Can't count him out. Kicks
No.
a game-winning field goal. Yeah. But
The Korean kicker.
yeah, Drake London finally got a TD by a really nice throw by Desmond Ritter, who was rolling to his left. And
He doesn't
then-
look too bad in the pocket, honestly. I was
No.
surprised about
Yeah,
that.
he made some really good throws in this. And then, Drake London
He
also
looks like he's 35. He looks like he's our age.
He does not look like a young guy. He
No.
does kind of look odd.
Yeah, that old man head.
Yeah.
head.
Drake London did have 6 for 67, and then that one TD. But man, you got to hand it to Arthur Smith. He went for He went 3 for 4 on 4th down tries.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really putting it
He's
all
got
out
that
there,
running
man.
game. Fuck
Yeah.
it. Just smash him in the mouth.
I mean, he's got Tyler Algier. He didn't really put up as much, but it seems like from what they said in the press conference, it's really going to be a two-headed attack between Algier
probably
and
going to be hot hand.
Yeah. But, watch out for Bijan Robinson, man. And the Falcons are already established in their identity, I believe. Like, we all kind of expected it with that run game, but now they're starting to get the pass game a little more involved. They racked up 446 yards on offense.
Damn.
Yeah.
They're looking a lot better than a lot of people were thinking they were going to with Desmond Ritter at the helm. So.
I know. Yeah, I really had the Saints to win that division, but it could be the Falcons. And the Falcons next week are playing the Lions in Detroit, so that'll be a good one.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Lions by 3.5 so far. Just
The
that
old
3.5.
Yeah, well, I'll get into my game. I picked the Giants versus Arizona, which I picked for a different reason initially. It was because they were getting blown out
Changed real fast.
by Arizona. Daniel Jones, 26 for 37, 321 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 9 carries for 59 yards. Leads the Giants to victory 31-28 after falling behind 21 points to the Cards. It took until the first play of the second half for their abysmal offense to make the turnaround when Jones threw a 58-yard completion to Jalen Hyatt, who ended up with 2 receptions and 89 yards. They trailed 28-7 in the third quarter, but cut it to 28-14 on Barkley's 1-yard touchdown run. Barkley ended up with 17 carries, 63 yards, 1 touchdown, 6 receptions for 29 yards, and 1 receiving touchdowns. We did mention, though, he did leave that game with the elusive minor high ankle sprain.
Yeah, mild,
We'll see how
the key word there.
We'll see how that goes. They kept the pressure on and got it to 28-21 in the fourth, thanks to a 9-yard touchdown pass to Barkley, which is the receiving touchdown pass we just spoke about.
Yep.
They then tied it on a Jones 11-yard touchdown pass to Isaiah Hodges, who wound up with 4 receptions, 40 yards, and 1 touchdown. New York then forced a 3-and-out and drove 56 yards to set up Graham Gano's game winner. Arizona has lost 6 straight at home, going all the way back to October.
It makes sense.
Yeah, the Giants deny Joshua Dobbs his first career start and win, as well as head coach Jonathan Gannon's first win as head coach. Josh Dobbs did look pretty good in the first half. He wound up going 21 for 31 on 228 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 carries, 41 yards, and 1 rushing touchdown. James Conner, 23 carries, 106 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Michael Wilson, 3 receptions, 56 yards. Zach Ertz, 6 receptions, 56 yards. And Marquise Brown, 6 receptions for 54 yards. So he likes to spread it around to the wide receivers.
Now, my big question here is, do you think this was more of the Giants showing grit and coming back? Or do you think it was the Cardinals owner getting down on the phone and telling the team, hey, we're trying to get the first overall pick. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, we know what's going to happen if they get the first overall pick. He ain't coming.
Caleb Williams is going to stay.
Also, I saw today Deion said neither of his kids are going to the NFL next year.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that, man. Good.
Told him you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You got to listen.
See, everybody's
Papa Prime.
been talking about, he's going to go number 1. But it's like, he hasn't even decided yet. What are you talking about?
That's how it goes, man. It happens quick in college. Right away, you're Heisman, and you're going to go first overall.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, with the NIL deals, it's not worth it. You could make decent money.
That's why, that's why you're going to see Caleb Williams more than likely stay at USC.
Well, especially when you get these teams tanking, it's like, I don't want to go to the fucking Cardinals. That
Yeah,
organization,
they're sucking.
Their fucking grass is slippery.
Yeah.
It's like an ice skating rink, man. Who wants to play there?
Hey, at least it's real.
Not really.
Well, it's on tracks and it rolls out all by itself.
Yeah, so that's
it's
totally
robot
real.
grass.
Yeah. Oh, Josh Harris just put a player in the trade block.
Oh no! I saw. Was it Samir put someone on the? trade
I
block?
tried to send him a request for it. I don't think he accepted it, but it was.
I thought about trying to finagle a trade. It's just so hard.
Yeah, I don't know.
I never want to offer enough for what I want.
Oh, Jerry Judy. That's who Josh Harris put on there.
Oh well, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, we'll get into the weeds here. Well, dude, the Giants did make a good comeback, though. That was nuts. I thought for sure they were going to get blown out.
Yeah.
At one point, they were outscored, I think, in the second half, 60-0, dating back to last week's.
Yeah.
It's horrible, man.
Not looking good. The defense has some issues.
Yes.
But, yeah, the offense, I mean, they didn't do too bad. And they got them back in it and ended up winning. So good for them. They take on San Fran next week. And then who does Arizona play? Dallas. Oh, my God.
Both of those teams.
I am glad I got their defense next week.
Dude, Dallas's defense doesn't even look fair, man.
No, it doesn't.
I cannot
It's
believe
insane.
what's happening right now.
I mean, Stephon Gilmore is just definitely.
He's helped that team out. Trayvon Diggs, but Micah
Well, just
Parsons.
who do you throw at? Man, and Micah Parsons is literally unstoppable.
Yeah,
but
they were talking about that was probably one of the best games he's had all year long. I mean, he was in the pocket.
And I think this year too, they just said you're going to go off the line now. They're not going to have him doing so much middle linebacker shit.
And that's smart. Use the guy like Lawrence Taylor. Just have him kill quarterbacks.
Just destroying people. He makes fucking offensive linemen look so goofy.
So like the best tackles out there makes them look like chunk change.
Yeah.
You know? But that was the end of week 2.
Yeah,
on to
week
week 3.
2. And now we are going into week 3.
Doesn't it fly by, man? It's so sad.
We're already
Bittersweet.
We're already halfway to a quarter. We're an eighth of the way through the season.
Time just flies by. I'm gonna be your
like
backup
sand through the hourglass.
Yep.
These are the days of our lives.
We're just dust in the wind.
Well, it's that time of the show that we need to hear from the show's official mascot,
Official.
John Daly. You are about to hear him hit it hard, man.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, live it large. I hit it hard.
That is right. It's time to grip it and rip it and hit it hard, man.
Damn right.
Yes, it is time for the daily dose of excellence, which this week
You found it this week.
I
so you
did.
take
It is Matt Gainard, 34-year-old University of Virginia kickoff specialist.
Wait, did you say a 34-year-old
I did.
college kicker?
34-year-old rookie, freshman, I guess is, well, not technically. I don't know how that
Is
works.
that Van Wilder?
Basically. So he tried out for the University of Virginia football team twice before graduating in 2011. He was unfortunately cut both times. He then decided to join the Marine Corps for 10 years flying Cobra attack helicopters. He then returned to the University of Virginia after those 10 years of military service, which thank you very much for that military service.
Oh, yeah?
He returned to UVA for business school, where he then met his wife, got married, and had 2 kids. He tried out again for the team in 2022, but his hardship waiver was denied by the NCAA. I guess these waivers are intended to restore eligibility that's been lost as a result of a hardship situation, injury, illness, or accident, and also, I guess, military service falls into that. Needless to say, due to the usual bureaucratic bullshit, as we've all run into in our lives when dealing with government-type entities.
Especially the NCAA.
Yeah, the NCAA. It was denied in 2022. In 2023, his waiver was then granted, and he is now the kickoff specialist. He's not the actual field goal kicker.
Yeah.
He's just the field goal, or not field goal. He's the
kicker.
kickoff specialist.
Yeah.
He just kicks the ball off. But either way, super cool story of someone who just continued to just pursue his dream of kicking for a college football team after all the stuff he went through. I think it was, I think the kicker's name is it Nick Novak?
For CSU?
No, he was a kicker in the NFL. I guess he ended up seeing a video and kind of pushed him into, like, he ended up reaching out to him and helping him achieve this.
Nice.
I guess this guy was 34 years old going to, like, kicking camps with 18-year-olds to get, like, film for, to get film for college. And yeah, it's just super cool. Anytime you see something like this, like somebody especially who's 34, who shouldn't be for the first time kicking for a college team at that age, and then when you hear the story as to why the military service and the attempts before the military service to get on the team, it's just one of those stories of perseverance that I think the man John Daly himself would greatly appreciate.
Oh, I think so, especially going through all those hardships and serving, which is very admirable. And, just showing that you never want to give up. If you got a dream, fucking chase it,
Yeah, I guess his dad also was like a pretty big pilot for the Marines or the Army or something, one of those two.
Yeah, that's cool.
So he kind of followed in his dad's footsteps and ended up going and doing that. So Matt Ganyard, this one's for you, buddy.
Hats off to you, sir.
Appreciate it. You are the daily dose of excellence this week.
And cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Keep on
indeed.
kicking, my friend.
And cheers to you, Chad. 1 year and
1 year
to many more.
in the books.
Cheers.
Cheers to you guys. Thanks for listening.
Yes, thanks for listening. If you made it this far, please like and follow and rate us 5 stars on whatever you're watching or listening to us on. And if you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media at @fringe_fanatics. Chad Lee, I love you, buddy.
I love you, buddy.
It's a great episode.
Damn right. We'll be back next week.
Next week, same time, same place.
Get out.
Fringe Fanatics out.